Today is the November 22nd.
This is the day Kennedy was shot, right?
Yes,
Wow.
1963.
Showing your age.
I know. I don't remember the day, but I was alive. Okay, we will call into order the meeting of the Board of License Commissioners for November 22nd. We have 13 items on the agenda, plus a couple of additional items that were not known to be on prior to the agenda going out, so we'll take a look at those too. Before we start, I just want to read the open meeting law. Pursuant to the open meeting law, any person may make an audio or video recording of this public meeting or may transmit the meeting through any medium. Attendees are therefore advised that such recordings or transmissions are being made, whether perceived or unperceived, by those present and are deemed acknowledged and permissible. One down. With that, we do have one charity, but I do not see them here yet, so we will start with agenda item number 1, and this is the okay. Agenda item number 1, hearing regarding the request for the transfer of the wine and malt package store license from S&H Tobacco Inc., 1500 Hancock Street, to S&K Market Inc., DBA Sunshine Market, 52 Franklin Street. Sankamadhi Patel, the manager, attorney John Iada. John, why don't you tell us the proposal and what we plan on doing up at Sunshine Fruit?
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. John Iada of 18 Russell Park in Quincy. This is, with me, this is Sunil Kumar, and this is Dinesh Kumar. Dinesh and the Patel family, as you know, you're very familiar with this applicant. Dinesh Kumar recently took over Chap's Daily Mart, Daily Mart, did some renovations there. This is Sunshine Market, Sunshine Fruit and Vegetable Market at 52 Franklin Street. It's been in the Patel family for several years now. And it's recently undergone some renovations. It's been modernized. What we're looking to do is transfer the existing wine and malt license from Hancock Tobacco to this location at Franklin Street. From Hancock Tobacco is Dinesh Kumar, who's also in attendance. In terms of relation, they are cousins, Dinesh and Dinesh. Different ownership. In this instance, Dinesh Kumar, Danny, is 100% sole officer, director, shareholder. His son, Sunil, will be the proposed manager of record. Sunil has been at Sunshine Fruit for approximately 5 years. Most recently, he's been in Quincy Gas, so he's familiar with this board and running a business in Quincy. As I stated before, the Patel family is well known. They do a good job, good operators. In addition to Daily Mart, Danny Patel is also involved at Nathan's and a new store on the block in the Quincy T area right here next door. The application for the beer and wine, it came about a couple reasons. It was kind of always on their radar. They applied several years ago, I think about 2008, 2009. Just the timing wasn't right. There were 2 other licenses in that location. Since that time, and most recently, the Franklin Beer and Wine license, I believe this board approved that transfer at the beginning of the month. So if that goes through, or the understanding is that Franklin Beer and Wine will not be reopening as such. So if that goes through, there will be no additional licenses to this neighborhood. This will be 2 licenses, roughly in this section. We feel that in addition to the loss of license at Franklin Beer and Wine, they can add to the convenience to its existing customer base. This is an international market, so in addition to American fairs and goods, they also cater to Indian, Brazilian, Middle Eastern. So the hope was to add some products in addition to all the traditional beer and wines that they could carry. They would like to expand that to some of the international wines, some of the Brazilian wines and the like. They do cater to their customer base. They have a very strong customer base. So they feel that this would be an added convenience and also some additional products that they could carry in addition. We did put out a petition. There's approximately 175 signatures. They're all residents of Quincy. And if I could submit that to the board. These are existing customers of the market. That have signed a petition in favor of this application to transfer the license. Again, these are customers that would benefit, they feel they benefit from the added convenience the public need for this license at this location. There's adequate street parking. As I stated before, Danny had, and the Patel family had put a considerable amount of time, effort, renovations into this property, have really cleaned it up over the last several years. It's been modernized. They intend to add ID scanners to this location, and they feel that it would be a good fit for the neighborhood. So I'd ask that the board grant the request for the transfer, and if you have any questions of either of the Patels, happy to take those.
Before I open it up to the board, does anybody in the audience have any comments or questions? Seeing none, we will close that portion of the hearing. So this is the this is the license that was previously held by the Patels at 1500 Hancock Street.
Correct.
And they actually, the Patels got a new license, all alcohol license. They're gonna be moving down 2 doors.
Right, that should be.
And this license is gonna be transferred or sold from here down to Franklin Street, where we just lost the license.
Correct.
So
actually
it's
a
really
setup.
pretty good.
Right.
It's a good setup.
It was good timing. They had a couple locations they were eyeing, but obviously in light of what transpired, we felt that the neighborhood could handle this. We felt that obviously they were used to 2 licenses, and we feel that that was the appropriate number, so it worked out timing-wise.
Looking at the looking at the application, it was advertised in the Quincy Sun. We also have all of the green cards back that were given back to Cindy Manning. And before I open it up to the board members for any questions, I just would like to recognize, I saw Councilor Brad Kroll come in, and I know that his ward is just around the Franklin, or the Sunshine Fruit. I don't know if you had any comments or questions, Councilor? You good?
I know, do I need to come to the?
No, you don't. It's up to you. I just wanted to I saw you come in, I wanted to give you the chance, that's all.
I have some familiarity with Mr. Patel, as he owns and operates the store up on Quincy Avenue. And if you've been in there since Mr. Patel has taken over, I think it's clear to the naked eye that he's very competent in what he does. And, I have nice confidence in his ability to operate. So
Great.
Thank you for recognizing me, Mr.
Thank
Chair.
you. Board members, any comments or questions?
I have one. I support it. The only hiccup before was that there were too many licenses for the area, which obviously that's not the case now, so it's not an issue. What do you plan on doing with the present location, Hancock Tobacco?
So that's going to be, the lease, it's at will at this point, so I'm not sure what the owner of the building is intending.
Okay.
But they're moving around the corner to the new entity, Hancock Market, which is on Cottage. So that's taking over 4 old businesses. They should be, hopefully a couple of weeks, have all final permits, and they're going to be, the business being a nice sized store, 5,000 to 6,000 square feet, so.
I know that my inspectors have already been down there
Okay.
once or twice. They said it's just amazing.
Yeah.
How it's really looking great, so.
Great.
Hours are gonna stay the same?
I would stay the same, actually like 8 to 10, most likely 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. So there's really no issue in terms of, other than Sunday sales, would be no issue of really needing to
Lock up the
lock down. Right.
And are we gonna do Sunday sales?
They are asking for Sunday sales
Okay.
at 10 a.m. Other than that, it should be pretty straightforward.
Are they, those, on the Sunday sales, is that the only hours they'll be open, or will they make arrangements to lock down the alcohol if they remain open later?
Right, so I think, this store is open at 8 a.m., so it's really just a couple hours in the morning that they'd have to worry about that. The location of where it is, it's gonna be right in front of the cash registers, where you come in, so it's really, they're very responsible operators, but if you felt at some point they, need to lock up, certainly the coolers can be locked up, but we have some warm displays that, in other words, makes it a little more difficult with shelving.
As long as it's an issue, I don't see a problem.
Yeah, I think they're very vigilant. I venture to say that they're aware of that issue, and they'll be vigilant for those 2 hours, maybe 3 during the entire week that would overlap their opening hours versus the sales.
Perfect, thank you.
And for the Sunday sales, you're just gonna need a vote of the board of directors with your
Okay.
application.
All right, I can
send it to
submit
the
that.
ABCC
That's not a
so that
problem.
we can have it.
I didn't know if they had, yeah, I wasn't sure if it transferred as well, or if you need Korean location, so I will, okay, I'll submit that vote, that's not a problem.
Bring it over.
Okay. Board members, any other questions or comments? Pleasure.
I would just add that if this is approved, that you take a look at the signage in your windows and make sure that you've got to reduce it somewhat.
Yes.
That's a busy store.
I agree.
You got a lot going on there, so I appreciate if you take a look at that. Thank you.
Sure, no problem.
Motion?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to grant the request for the transfer of the wine and malt package store license from S&H Tobacco Inc., 1500 Hancock Street, to S&K Market Inc., DBA Sunshine Market, 52 Franklin Street. Sun Kumar D. Patel, manager, represented by Attorney John Aida.
Second?
Motion made and seconded to grant the request for the transfer of the wine and malt package store license from S&H Tobacco Inc., 1500 Hancock Street, to S&K Market Inc., DBA Sunshine Market, 52 Franklin Street. Sun Kumar D. Patel, the manager, represented by Attorney John Aida. All in favor?
Aye.
You're all set.
Thank you very much.
Good luck, okay?
Thank you.
We will just jump right out. We have one item, an addendum item that is a charity, and this is for the Quincy Festival, 11/26, and this is for a one-day alcohol. If Helen Murphy could come up. I've talked with Helen prior to the meeting. This is basically going to be the same type of setup that we did out front for the Flag Day Parade. And we're gonna be doing it for the lighting ceremony, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We're looking to do 3 separate events out in the back area. So this is gonna be one day wine and beer, alcohol for all 3 days, or for how many of the days?
We're here for Saturday.
Just for Saturday.
For Saturday?
Food festival,
For the
yes.
food festival on Saturday. Excellent. For one-day food festival on Saturday. So why don't you explain the concept and we'll go from there.
Basically, as part of, the festivities with the new park out here, we're gonna be incorporating into the holiday, the traditional holiday activities here, what we're calling the Quincy Holiday Food Festival. We're gonna have 6 local restaurants serving, one of their signature dishes. Among them, Fuji at Western Chestnut, which is opening soon, the Belfry Hall, which is opening soon, the Shaking Crab. The Shaking Crab, which is sometime next year will be opening. They already have a restaurant in Newton. Existing restaurants, Bistro Chi, Craig's Cafe, Ginger Betty's Bakery. As part of that, we're going to be serving beer and cider, not so much wine, but beer and cider. The vendor for that is Burke Distributing, which has good relationships all over Quincy. And the license holder for that will be Anthem Entertainment, which worked with us on the Flag Day beer garden we did. Very reputable company, among other things. They run the Charles River Esplanade event from the 4th of July in Boston. We're developing a relationship with them to kind of bring that same kind of prestige here to Quincy Center with the center looking so beautiful now. So they're going to be the license holder on it. They're insured. Again, very reputable company. And they couldn't be here tonight because, in fact, their founder of the company, Chris Sinclair, was just honored by the Notre Dame as at Notre Dame University in Indiana as one of their distinguished alumni. So they're all out there. They were all out there for that ceremony. So they couldn't be here. So we're kind of representing the event and Anthem Entertainment as the license holder.
Hours?
5 to 10.
5 to 10?
And this is Saturday, the 26th, right?
Saturday night, Chairman. Yes.
Will you be done by 10, or you just want to stop serving at 10, or do you need?
The goal is to be done by 10.
Cleaned up out by 11.
I don't know what the
People might
census
be
is.
going around. I mean,
We'll go
the
5
check
to
will be-
11.
5 to
I'd rather
11.
be safe than sorry.
Yeah.
There will be music too. I don't know if there's a time where we should have that shut down. But the plan is to be done, wrapped up in 10.
Holiday music and stuff. When the event closes at 11 or 10,
Okay.
you can go until 10 o'clock.
Okay.
That shouldn't be a problem.
Okay.
I believe parades and stuff like that are exempt
That's correct, Mr. Chairman.
from the noise ordinance, so.
Where exactly is the location?
The tent is right out here. It's going to be the site of the tent for the Friday night Christmas tree lighting. So it's right on Hancock Adams Green. I guess the best thing is to say it's just about 1359 Hancock, and then coming this way towards City Hall.
And basically, we just duplicate, kind of making another night of use for that. There was the chance that it'll be up for the tree lighting ceremony, so trying to bring another event on Saturday night.
Are they food trucks?
No food trucks. The vendors or the restaurants are basically going to be, for the most part, we'll be serving prepared food. A couple of them will need, one of them will need propane. I understand there'll be a fire detail there. One of them will need electricity to run kind of a induction burner to kind of heat their food. But for the most part, it's going to be prepared food, which we want to keep this simple because it's kind of a short time frame pulling together. But there's not most of it's going to be prepared kind of cold food.
We're hoping to grow it next year.
And you do have heating for the tent, so you arrange that.
That's what, yes, that's what, there from the previous night.
And how are you charging for, is there admission to the tent?
No admission, but each vendor will be charging for their food. We'd like the local restaurants to, not only promote the restaurant, to make a couple bucks at it.
Anybody else? Any other comments, questions? Anybody in the audience have any comments, questions, concerns? Seeing none, board members, what's your pleasure?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to grant the request for a one-day beer and wine license for the Quincy Holiday Food Festival on the Adams Green, Saturday, November 26th, from 5 to 11 p.m., represented by Helen Murphy.
Second?
Motion made and seconded to grant the request of the Quincy Holiday Food Festival for a one-day all-alcohol license for Saturday, November 26th from 5 to 11 p.m. on the Adams Green. All in favor?
Aye.
You're all set.
Thank
Good
you
luck,
very
okay?
much.
Good luck.
Let's just- Agenda item, hearing number 2, hearing regarding the request of 164 House LLC, 130 Elm Street, Tom Lyons, manager, for the transfer of the existing lodging house license held by Topat Realty. Why don't you tell us your name and what we plan on doing down there?
Yeah, my name's Rich McDonald. I'm the owner of the property, and we're doing a master lease with 164 House LLC. What this will be is a sober living community that's exclusive to a day treatment center. So the clients will be bused back and forth during the day while we passenger vans that bring them back and forth. So there's no extra cars, no parking. These kids are in class from 9 to 4. They come back to eat dinner and they head out to local AA meetings at night.
And just for a little background, this is a licensed lodging house presently licensed by the city of Quincy. The fire department goes in there on a regular basis. The health department goes in there on a regular basis. It's a building that, it's not in the best repair. We've had some issues there in the past. We've had a lot of police calls there in the past. This is becoming a sober house by law. They don't even have to come before us for a lodging house license. They're protected under the Americans with Disability Act. We think it's absolutely fantastic that they are coming before us. It gives us a little bit more oversight over it. It still allows us to go in there at least once a year to do inspections to make sure that, smoke detectors and carbon monoxide detectors are all where they're supposed to be, that exits are cleared, that the state sanitary code is up to code. So we're thrilled that they're coming in here before us to do it. We have several houses like this that they've taken over, and we haven't had any issues with any of them. So I'm very excited that this is happening. And with that said, I'd just like to open it up to the audience. I know that Councilor Brad Kroll is here. We had a neighborhood meeting on Saturday morning, so Councilor Kroll would like to say anything?
Evening, I guess early evening, late afternoon, right, depending on what time zone you're in. Mr. Chairman and members of the board, for the record, Brad Kroll, Ward 2 Council, 65 Gay Street. To the chairman's point, we did meet on site. I did a fairly substantial mailing to the residents, and much to your point, to afford an opportunity to come in and learn about the new business coming into the community. A couple things. I had a conversation with Mr. McDonald prior to the meeting, and we talked about the current state of the home as it exists now. And, he kind of talked me through his plan to make aesthetic improvements to the structure. And Mr. Shealy, I know that you were on site. You've seen it in its prior life, and the building probably needed a lot of help. I also had the opportunity to read through the past police report. Wasn't really too impressed as to what was going on, but wanted to create an environment for residents to engage and understand what it is exactly would be going into this place. I feel like the discussion was had some substance to it, and for me, knowing that it's going in there and that there will be multiple layers of oversight. So as Mr. McDonald had pointed out, it's a structured recovery home, and there will be staff on hand monitoring and making sure that people continue to do the right thing. There is a need for these types of entities. We all know about the high volume of drug and alcohol addiction, not only facing the city of Quincy, but really the country. And, when these things are done properly, from what I've seen, that they actually are an effective conduit to treatment of alcohol and drug addiction. So again, my job as a ward counselor is to inform folks and facilitate a forum where everyone can participate in a public discussion, and we did that last Saturday. So everybody is aware, and Mr. McDonald has also made himself available, to folks that if you have questions throughout the interim, he's the guy to contact. So that's all I have there. So thank you.
Thank you.
Before I open it up to the board, does any members of the audience have any comments, questions? I do have one correspondence that was delivered to the licensing board, and it's regarding 130 Elm Street, BP Elm Street LLC, change to a sober house request. Dear licensing board, last night I received a letter from Ward 2 Councilor Brad Kroll informing me that the new owner of 130 Elm Street, BP Elm Street LLC, is applying to transfer the lodging house license with the intent to operate as a sober house. I do not support their request, as I believe this will negatively affect our community and the neighborhood as a whole. The house is next to a school bus stop and within a few minutes walking distance from a children's library, Thomas Crane Public Library, which regularly holds activities for children. I believe this is not an appropriate place to make a sober house, considering the extremely short notice and the fact that the hearing is during regular working hours and during a holiday week that most people use to travel. I ask at least give the community more time to organize and discuss the best options for our neighborhood and postpone your decisions for after the holidays. Sincerely, Alexandra M. Zaltiva. And that is the only comment that I have received. All the other paperwork is in order, the check, the emergency contact forms. I know that the health department and the fire department goes through this building on a regular basis. Board members, any comments, questions?
Nice to see you again, Mr. McDonald. We've worked with you with other properties in Quincy that we've had problems with. It seems like once you take them over, they get cleaned up and our issues seem to disappear. So hopefully we'll have the same kind of relationship with this one. I'm confident that we will. So thanks.
Yeah, also, I'd like to voice my opinion as well in the same way. I know you own a number of properties. I know what your business plan is, but I also know what your treatment plan is, and I like both of them. There's been no issues with any of the other properties in the city that you've taken over, so I anticipate that this will be a good one too.
So Chairman, how many, what's the number of persons in the lodging house? Will that remain the same?
There's 16 rooms that they're gonna be using, and the number of people are we looking at?
There's 10 rooms with 2 apartments in the back. Our plan was to put 16 in there.
16.
Yeah, so some of them will be double occupancy.
Yeah.
What is the number now on record?
I think it's 28.
No, when we talk about its capability,
Yeah.
the square footage and all that, like, that's how big it could get.
It could get to 28, but right now, it's at 16, and that's what it's gonna stay.
We're going to say it's okay.
16 is the number. Board members, any other comments, questions? This building is completely sprinkled too, just, that's a requirement, so.
You'll continue to maintain that system? Is that correct?
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to grant the request of 164 House LLC, 130 Elm Street, Tom Lyons, manager, for the transfer of the existing lodging house license held by Topat Realty.
Second?
Motion made and seconded to grant the request of 164 House LLC, 130 Elm Street, Tom Lyons, manager, for transfer of the existing lodging house license held by Topat Realty. All in favor?
Aye.
You're all set, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
Good luck, okay, thank you. When do you think it's gonna be ready to go?
6 weeks.
6 weeks, and can I ask you one other question?
Sure.
What kind of investment are we putting into the property?
About 250,000.
250,000, that's what I wanted to hear. Thank you very much, all right?
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, okay, so they're not even here, right? Okay. So, Dennis, I know I asked you, you could stay for this. This is agenda item number 3, this is gonna be very quick. 7-Eleven didn't even show up, I actually spoke with them earlier. This is just a corporate change, it's here regarding the request of change of corporation and DBA of the existing CV license held by Tedeschi's Food Shop at 650 Adams Street to 7-Eleven Inc., DBA 7-Eleven, number 37429H, Richard M. Blue Esquire is gonna be representing him. It's staying Tedeschi's, they're just changing the corporate name. They may come back after the first of the year to do something with the name Tedeschi's to make it a 7-Eleven. 7-Eleven bought all of the Tedeschi's about a year ago, year and a half ago, and we've slowly been in the process of changing over some of them. I did have a discussion with 7-Eleven corporate, and because you have a 7-Eleven and a Tedeschi's that are so close to each other, I don't think that they're gonna merge and have two 7-Elevens next to each other. I believe it's just gonna stay as a 7-Eleven and a Tedeschi's, even though both are owned by 7-Eleven. But this is just a change of the corporate name and a doing business as. And for now, it is going to stay as a Tedeschi's, and when we hear anything different, they'll have to come before us to do a DBA. Change the name, I mean, of business. So, can we get a motion?
Make a motion to grant the request of change of corporation and DBA of the existing CV license held by Tedeschi Food Shops, 650 Adams Street, to 7-Eleven Inc., doing business as 7-Eleven, number 37429H, represented by Richard M. Blau, Esquire.
Second?
Motion made and seconded to grant the request of the change of corporation and DBA of the existing CV license held by Tedeschi's Food Shop, 650 Adams Street, to 7-Eleven Inc., DBA 7-Eleven, number 37429H, represented by Richard Blau. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. There you go, that's a quick one. Okay, now we have... This is all... We do agenda item number 12, yeah. Yeah, here's agenda item 12. Right here. So we're gonna jump down to agenda item number 12 while we still have Councilor Kroll here. Hearing regarding the request of Quincy Checker Cab for a new location to 150 East Howard Street, Mr. David Gore. This is David Gore, he owns Checker Cab, I believe it's 16 medallions?
Oh, 6.
6 medallions. And he is looking to go from the end of Washington Street where the, used to be a gas station, BP, it's been a used car lot for a while, he's been there for about a year now, and that's being converted into a storage facility unit, and he's moving down to East Howard Street, the old Haja used car lot. So this is a good spot for him to go. The building department has already signed off on this. We have the emergency contact form. David, how long have you owned Checker Cab for?
3 years.
3 years. So why don't you just, I kind of did it for you, why don't you just tell us what your proposal is, just so we can hear it from you.
I mean, we have 6 medallions on the road, and guys are driving 24 hours, 2 shifts a day, and you know, it's going good. My guys get Thanksgiving, Christmas, and July 4th a free day, and we have a Christmas party on Christmas, and you know, it's going good. I mean, most of my guys have been with me over 2 years.
Good. Before I open it up to the board, anybody in the audience have any comments, questions? Council Crow's all set, we already spoke with him earlier, so with that, looking for a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to grant the request of Quincy Checker Cab for a new location to 150 East Howard Street, represented by Mr. David Gore.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to grant the request of Quincy Checker Cab for a new location to 150 East Howard Street, represented by Mr. David Gore. All in favor?
Aye.
You're all set, David. Thank you very much, all right?
Thank
Good
you.
luck out
Thanks,
there. And I'm going to jump down to agenda item number 11, hearing to discuss the dumpster location and neighborhood complaints at the Good Fortune Supermarket, number 226 Quincy Ave. Zfang Lee, the manager. And we have, I know that the building department has received several complaints about odor issues, noise issues with the fans on the roof, the compactor being empty, 4:30 in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, cannot happen. Odors coming from the dumpster. So I'm going to turn it over to Director Duca, who's been working on this. I'm going to let him speak, and then we'll let you speak, and then I'm going to see if anybody in the audience has any comments or questions that they want to express, okay? So,
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just want to report to the board, the operators here, the Good Fortune Market, they had recently put an addition on their building, gone through the process. They've, in all fairness, tried to do everything right. The compactor is located near a residential property. They've been doing everything they can to maintain the odors. They've done some work on the fans on the roof. They did have a court appearance last week, so they're basically under a court order that's been continued to January 23rd. They've been very cooperative along the way, and I think that's all that I can ask for them at this point. I think there may be some folks here in the audience that may want to speak to be heard, who live next door, but I want to just let the board know that the operators here have been very cooperative.
So is the dumpster going to be enclosed? Is it going to be?
Yes, the plan is that they're going to enclose the it's not a dumpster.
It's a compactor.
It's a compactor.
And it's a big one.
It's a big one. There were some logistical issues with enclosing it. It's got to be a substantial structure, able to withstand commercial trucks pulling this compactor in and out, and it's got to have some operable doors or some kind of container on the front. So it is a substantial building. They are in process of producing plans. The court has given them until early spring, but we do have a continuance, a progress status report to be heard in January. So they are doing everything they have been asked to do, and we're here today. We may want to hear from the neighbor.
Do you have any comments or questions or anything you want to say, or?
We have the actor to draw a plan to build a more kind of warehouse to be keep cleaning everything with the same room. So make sure there's no like a smelling, could be outdoor.
Have you spoken to the people who empty the dumpster about the time of day that it should be empty?
Yeah, we talked another time, say, to the company, to the boss, and they say, okay, they will take care of it. But sometimes the employer.
Well, I'm gonna give neighbors who are here, I'm gonna give them my cell phone number, and I'm gonna tell them to call me at 5 o'clock in the morning when this dumpster is being emptied. So if they ever hear it being emptied at 5 a.m., I'm gonna get a call and I'm gonna get woken up. So.
Yeah.
My guy's gonna be down there giving you guys tickets so fast. If it's being emptied before, was it 7 a.m.?
7.
Can't be emptied before 7
Yeah, we
a.m.
talked to neighbors after 8.
8 to 7.
Okay. Okay, so with that, I'm just, any neighbors, anybody here who has any comments, questions, concerns, can you just come right up?
Sure.
And give your name and address at the podium, and then,
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. My name is Tim Fian. I live at 23 Richard Street. My backyard directly abuts the said dumpster. So it's been kind of a severe air pollution problem all summer long. It's very smelly. Just want to make sure that this corrects the problem. I also want to reiterate that as far as the noise issues associated with the HVAC units and refrigeration units on the roof, make sure that those are corrected and properly mitigated as well. So just want to stress that. It's not just an issue for myself and my family, but it's also my neighbors, so it's become kind of a public nuisance.
I know that I did walk your property, Tim, because we had some issues with some rodent infestation down there.
Yeah.
We did walk Richard Street the day after we had our meeting. I didn't find any burrows on your property, but we did bait down at the very end of Richard Street, closer to Quincy Ave. There were a couple of houses down there. So we have baited that area.
Okay.
And we've also increased the baiting of the area around the back part of Good Fortune
Right.
too. The same company that I use is the company that they use, so I was able to stress that also, so
Okay.
that has been addressed.
Are there any plans in the works as far as with the noise issue, installing noise shielding?
I did speak to the property owners. We did go down there about a month ago. I think I spoke to you by email.
Yeah.
And there was an issue with one of the fans starting up that made the noise.
Yeah.
It was a startup issue. They have since told me that they have corrected that. I intend to do another late night noise
Because I know that,
measurement.
I know that noise shielding, it's a usual mitigation for buildings like this and for businesses that use these HVAC units and refrigeration units. And I just want to stress too, I feel bad for the apartment building that's directly next to the main part of the market, because there's also units there. Those folks may not necessarily know to come and complain or who to complain to.
Well, I have to say that most of the fans that are on the building have been existing there for many years.
Okay.
They do have a new unit on the addition, which I don't know that that's a problem. We're gonna check that out, but I have not had any other complaints on the noise part of it from any of the other buildings.
All right, great. And I'll take that photo.
I'm gonna give it out. Anybody else have any comments, questions that they want? So you ready for the number?
Yeah, sure.
You got a pen ready? 617-908-9827. And you can, you can call, honest to God, if the dumpster's being emptied at 5 a.m., call me up. All right, and we'll make sure that they get ticketed. I sent the ticket down there a couple of weeks ago, or 10 days ago, the dumpster was emptied at 6:30. And I made sure that, I know you sent somebody down, I sent someone down too, so.
They pick it up at 6:30?
Yeah, this is about 10 days ago, 14 days ago maybe?
Yeah, I made that, I called that in.
Yeah.
So,
Now you can call me directly, now you can call me directly instead of emailing me, okay? And I'm serious about that. Don't hesitate to call at 5 a.m., because if they're waking you up, I want to get woken up.
Sure thing.
Any other comments, questions?
Just real quick, and I think it's, credit where credit is due. I know that the different department heads have different scenarios where it's, forced you to really test the limits. And I just want to point out Commissioner Duker in his work throughout, not only this, but, as a ward counselor. I mean, I talk to Jay 2-3 times a week, and the city of Quincy is very lucky to have him. I did facilitate a neighborhood meeting on this issue with residents, as well as you may and Mr. Lee back in the summer, and Jay was there as well. And, I feel that everyone is working to find a mutual solution, which is a good thing when you have a business abutting a residence. And I do believe we'll get there, and all parties continue to communicate on email threads, through the telephone, in person, and unfortunately, sometimes you can't just wave a wand and everything goes away. It takes time, and I do think we're getting in the right, and we're heading in the right direction. And I think this is the most in the 5 years I've ever spoken to licensing. This is like 4 or 5 times. So while I have everyone here, I'm going to leave now, but wish you all and your families a nice Thanksgiving, and thank you for all the work you do.
Thank you, Councilman.
With that, do we get a motion to place this on file?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to place the issue of the supermarket, Good Fortune Supermarket on file. Second?
Motion made to place on file the discussion on the dumpster location and the neighborhood complaints at Good Fortune Supermarket, 226 Quincy Ave, Zifeng Lee, the manager. So let's hope we get everything done right, okay? I don't want to get a call at 5 a.m.
Yeah, we
Thank
will.
you.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We're going to jump around back to agenda item number 4. Hearing regarding the status of the general on-premise license issued to L-Bill Inc., Mr. Gerard Hanley. Jerry, how are you?
I'm here with Jerry too as well. So Chairman, members of the board, at the beginning of the year, Jerry actually signed a purchase and sale agreement. I'm going to submit this to the board on this license held by L-Bill Inc. To a third party, Tate Yon Inc. And the intention was to transfer this license to a location at 350 Washington Street, represented by Chung Lee. Attorney Lee had met with Councilor Forrest in the springtime. I believe they may be on a board of another ward as well. Met with the neighbors, had a neighborhood meeting, and they agreed to reconvene later in the year. They did so, they couldn't coordinate anything until the fall time. They did have another neighborhood meeting at that time, had some other questions, concerns about this application. So frankly, I was a little surprised that an application hasn't been made to this point, to this board.
So, how long has this place been empty for? How long has the road been there for? When did you close down, Jerry?
8 years?
8 years ago. This is considered a pocket license by the ABC.
You understand, yeah.
It's not going to be renewed at the end of this year. That's what I'm telling you right now. So he's got from now until December 31st to get a purchase and sale together.
Right, so the problem is the renewals, as we know. So in other words, it came as a surprise that there's no application, because I thought everything was, in other words, we take a step back as the sellers, the burden's on the buyers here, where they had the neighborhood meetings and everything else, especially one this fall. We're under the impression that there may have even been an application early on in the springtime. So,
There was an application,
it was.
but it was never followed up.
Okay. So again, it was unbeknownst to us. Jerry called me just this week asking if I could be here on his behalf, because I tried to reach out to Attorney Lee to see what the situation is.
He would not answer me by email or by telephone.
Okay, so I'm kind of running across that situation. So the problem we have obviously is we have a purchase and sale agreement. And the problem, obviously, we're up against the time for the renewals. So it kind of puts our deal in jeopardy, obviously, if this license is not renewed. We understand this board has been more than patient in understanding the circumstances. We had hoped not to come to the last.
I mean, I think by law, we're only required to hold it for 3 years, and we're on 8 right now, so.
We don't disagree, we've been more than receptive here. The problem is, we're kind of throwing this at the last minute, not understanding why an application or anything else hasn't been submitted.
It was submitted.
I'm sorry, that hasn't been followed up on.
Right.
Right.
Jerry didn't, the attorney that was handling it didn't. I can't get through to anybody.
We've had the same problem because I've been dealing with Atlantic license brokers, Newcomb, and we just can't get any feedback. Yeah, and it's not for lack of trying, believe me.
Oh,
I want to get rid of it.
Yeah.
And it's costing me money all the time because I have to.
I don't think it's going to cost you money this year.
Well, it's being held. A license has to be held by an active corporation, right? Which means that the corporation has to file taxes and file.
But it also needs
everything.
it also needs an address.
Yeah,
You don't have an address.
I know that. All I'm saying is that look, it's not for lack of trying.
Oh, I know it's not for lack of trying. I know that.
I don't want to.
What kind of license do they have right now at this location? Or
It's a CV all alcohol license.
where is it being held right now?
It's a, formerly the Holy Ground.
Holy Ground.
Oh, the Holy Ground.
It's where the road went right through.
Okay. All right, okay. And they want to transfer it?
No, I just want to know what's going on with the
Oh,
license.
okay, got it. All right, thank you.
But yes, it would have been an application for a transfer. Yeah, from that location to a new location. Or,
Yeah. The dog shop, the dog,
It was an appliance store or something.
oh, the appliance store.
Somewhere around
Atlantic
there.
appliance,
Yeah.
okay.
It was going to go to 351,
Somewhere,
Yeah.
yeah, down there.
and that fell through.
It fell through.
well, we don't know, I
It's-
mean,
Well, they
And
never
you're the
applied.
license holder.
I guess.
yeah. Right, in other words, the burden was on the purchasers, we assumed they were, I mean, to be here in front of the board on an application, according to Ms. Benning, they never followed up on that.
Wouldn't the burden be on the license holder to make sure he's doing everything he's supposed to do?
Well, it is,
To
in other
keep
words,
the
they have the
license.
neighborhood meetings, I understand there's 2 neighborhood meetings, took quite some time to do that and to regroup.
But for
And,
8 years?
oh, no, not for 8 years.
Not
I'm
for
saying
just
I'm
this
just talking
year.
about this specific instance, that's
Yeah.
all.
believe that was last summer.
They had one in summer, they met again in the fall,
Yeah.
and we assumed that they'd be in front of the board, so, right.
From Jerry or the attorney?
Well, Jerry can't apply on their behalf, I mean, in other words, the application's
Could
been.
have contacted the board in the summer if it fell through.
We don't know if it has fallen through, I mean, obviously, at this point, we're kind of the last to know about this, because we were under the impression that after the neighborhood meetings, they would have appeared in front of the board.
I think in 8 years, I mean, you can probably do stuff to market the license, try to sell it.
Well,
They did, the
the
problem
license has
is,
been on the market solid for 8 years. The big problem with licenses in the square is the city has 20 licenses that they can give out for $5,000 each. So why would it's really tough to sell an existing license when people can say, well, let's hold off and get one of the new licenses.
But they can't transfer those anywhere other than the square, those are only good in the square. So if somebody was to open in North Quincy or West Quincy, whatever, that license would prove to be some value.
The big problem there is when you're heading into the neighborhoods, you're running into neighborhood problems. Now, I would say in the last 10 years, there have been very, very few new all-alcohol licenses go into the neighborhoods, but you've had at least 4 or 5 that closed. Varsity Club, Basta Pasta, Yard Rock, Villa Rosa, and probably 1 or 2 more. So it's, people want to be in the square, or they want to be where the action is. So it's not for lack of trying, believe me.
That's not the issue here.
I know.
The issue is, I mean, your argument would suggest that we wait forever.
No, not at all. Not at all.
so I think in this circumstance, again, where we had a signed agreement in early this year, we assumed it would be done clearly well in advance of the end of this year. Jerry, I think, and I were surprised that nothing had happened after the meetings.
When did you find out nothing was happening? I mean,
We've been,
Within literally like the last couple of weeks, because in other words,
and when was the purchase and sale signed?
in January, they met twice.
January?
Yeah, they
And
met
then they-
twice with the neighborhood. They had some problems and obstacles coordinating with the neighborhood groups. So,
So you do or you don't know if it's going to happen?
they have a substantial deposit on it. And so, I mean,
Well, you have to have this back to us in a week, so if I was.
we're doing everything we can to get a hold of them and find out what the story is. Because
Within that week, within the next
Yeah.
week, because you're in jeopardy of losing
I
your
know.
license.
I mean, I spoke to the broker this morning, to Dan Newcomb, and they've been trying to get a hold of these people. I know John's been trying to get a hold of the other lawyer. It's not for lack of trying on our part.
Is that
Perhaps-
the refundable deposit? John?
It's not written that way in the agreement, no. But,
I've been trying since January.
Perhaps they've just gone.
Well, it'll be nice if we got a straight, I think the onus is on them to come before the board and get it straight up or down.
Yeah,
And
it
then they
is.
could,
But you know what? It's your license.
I know that. I know that.
So when we don't renew the license because there's no address, we're not gonna not renew his license because it's not even his, it's gonna be yours that doesn't get renewed. Because it's still in your name, it's still at the address, was it 1600?
1600,
Yeah,
which doesn't exist
I
anymore.
know. 1600, no.
I do.
So,
All I'm saying is the information came to us just recently that we're not getting answers. We don't know why. I'm surprised that they haven't been in front of you in terms of a hearing, because neighborhood meetings aside, whatever the outcome is, they still need to, in my opinion, still need to come in front of the board. We just learned that they haven't been in front of the board, so.
I know they were trying to, they were talking to Councillor Forrest, and that was August, and then it got kicked back into September.
Right.
And before we knew it,
Have you reached out to her?
yeah, I talk to her all the time.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
has she heard from them?
No, I mean, I spoke to her as recently
So
as
these
last
people
week.
just basically have disappeared.
Well, they're not
They're not being responsive,
being
so
responsive.
obviously when Jerry, indicated that there's a review on that, I mean, I'm here to tell you guys what the scenarios of the
Did you
situation.
contact the lawyer at the time?
I spoke to him probably 2 weeks ago.
And what did he tell you?
At that time, he was saying he met with a neighborhood group, he was having some opposition. It didn't come up that he had a hearing or not.
He had an application.
Right, I assumed everything was going forward, and he would have told me, here's the date of the hearing, it's not, 'cause that's where I kind
The
of,
application wouldn't be any good now because you're only so many weeks as the board.
see, I wasn't even aware of when he applied
So
for that initial
The
application.
application would be due, it'd have to be all filed all over.
Right, was that timely in January, or when did he?
January.
He applied in January? Okay, so he applied shortly after the
So the
PMS.
board has been ignored, completely ignored.
So, just for my own purpose, in terms of, he obviously met with the neighborhood group, felt he needed to do that, he could have at any time.
Well, that's fine, meeting with the neighbor, you can do that anyway.
Yeah, but he could have pushed to be in
The
front of the
application,
board, correct? I mean,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
so
I'm
you
just-
guys can sign this renewal form, and you can, number 4 is the premises are now open for business. If not, explain below. That's gonna be a nice little, you'll have a nice little story to tell the ABCC. But, no address, no location, 8 years, I don't know.
Right.
I don't know, I mean, that's called a pocket license. That's the classic line of a pocket license, and
I
the
think, yeah.
ABCC does not allow
I
that.
think the difference here is we did have an agreement, so obviously he couldn't market, he couldn't find anyone else. Unfortunately, he's hanging everything, putting all his eggs in one basket. And it's been, 10 months, 11 months, so obviously, that's what he was hanging his hat on.
I would suggest you reach out to that attorney
Oh,
one more
absolutely.
time, and if not, explain the
Right.
situation and see if they'll give you any.
Right. We need to hear from them, absolutely.
It's, I don't want to hold on to it.
But, I don't want it to jeopardize and hurt Mr. Hanley either because of their actions. At the same time, we understand the board has to do something with this.
I mean, we'll have to say that the board has been more than accommodating. They don't have a problem now.
So we're gonna leave the ball in your court. See what happens.
Okay.
So can I get a motion to place this on file, since this was you, I mean, we couldn't take your license today anyway, because we didn't even give you proper notice. This is just to discuss what's going on with the license at this address, and, I mean, we would never take it back and revoke it, it would just be non-renewal. That's how it would go down, so. So why don't you, here's the 2 sheets that have to be sent in, you can figure out what you want to do, if you want to do it, and we'll just place this on file right now. I can get a motion to place this on file
Chair, motion,
until the end of the year?
motion to place the status of the general on-premise license issued to L Bill Inc. on file for future consideration.
Second?
Motion made and seconded to continue the hearing on the status of the general on-premise license issued to L Bill Inc., Mr. Gerard Hanley. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you.
We're going to do agenda item number 5. Hearing regarding the status of the CV all alcohol license issued to Tirana Restaurant Inc., 150 Hancock Street. Miss Oleana Huxell-Halera. Huxell-Halera, did I do it all right?
Absolutely.
Huxell-Halera. So this is the Basta Pasta, and it would be, how long have you guys been closed for?
Since January of this year.
And it would be real nice if someone had picked up the phone and said, hey, licensing board, we're not open.
Unfortunately, Cindy had the wrong number. When we renewed last year.
So when you renewed last year, did you, don't say Cindy had the wrong
No,
number.
when we filled out the paperwork, we filled out from the very first day that we got the license, and we used to live on C Street, and that's the license, that's the address that the city had on file, and that's why we couldn't be reached.
Because you didn't come to us and say that you were going someplace else. That's why you couldn't be reached?
Yes, sir.
Okay. It's not our fault that you
No,
couldn't be reached?
No, it's not.
Okay. So there we are there. Now, so what's going on?
We really wanted to open up Basta Pasta somewhere in North Quincy again. Initially, we tried to sell the license. We couldn't sell it. We figured since there are licenses available for the square, we could open in the square. We really want to be in North Quincy, somewhere either Wollaston or North Quincy where we were. That's where our customer base is. We don't want to leave City of Quincy. We understand there's a renewal time right now, and the location where we were, we sold it. It was closed on it last month. And
So you don't even own the property that you had before, right?
No, we don't.
Okay.
So we're here in front of the board today to see if we can give us another chance.
So
to
this
see
is
if
this is all I can say.
Yes.
Unless you come up with a location within the next week, because on this application, you have to put down where the restaurant is.
Yes.
Unless you can come up with a location, you're in trouble. You're not gonna, it's not gonna get renewed. As far as going to Wollaston or North Quincy, somewhere in that area, again, you have till the end of this week or next week to get this application in. If you want to go to the downtown, that's different. You've all the time in the world, because we have plenty of all alcohol licenses for the downtown area that are strictly for the downtown. They can't go anywhere else. So if you don't end up in Wollaston or North Quincy, and you do want to stay in Quincy and you want to do something in the downtown area, you are more than welcome to come down. We would love to have Basta Pasta in the downtown area. We'd love to have you in Quincy somewhere. You guys do a great job. When you took over down there, you did a phenomenal job. It's beautiful on the inside. I never could have thought that you could have that much space in that little spot.
No, we were in a great
You
business.
really did a super, super job. I was heartbroken when I saw that it had closed down. So, with that, does any members of the board have any comments, questions? So, I'm going to give you this application here. You can figure out what you want to do, and again, on number 4, it says if the premise is not open, you have to explain why. And then we'll take it from there and we'll see what happens, okay? Can I get a motion to place this on file for the end of the year too?
Motion, Mr. Chairman, make a motion to place this on file, the status of the CBO alcohol license issued to Tirana Restaurant at 150 Hillcrest Street.
I need that by the end of November. Okay?
Second?
Motion made and seconded to place on file the status of the CV all alcohol license issued to Tirana Restaurant Inc., 150 Hancock Street, Miss Oleana Puxalata. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Good luck. I hope something works out for you, all
I
right?
hope so.
Maybe you can rent something.
Yeah.
All right. We now are going to our last 5 items. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we just have a couple of housekeeping items at the end of the day. So, on agenda item number 6, is David Smith here today? David's not here. I have spoken with David Smith, who is the manager of the Masonic Temple, and after talking with them, it's my understanding that they will not be renewing their CV license, their club license over at the Masonic Temple. The license was issued many years ago when John Gillis was the chairman of the licensing board. He had the Masonic Temple coming up on a regular basis for one-day beer and wine and one-day alcohol licenses because they did a lot of plays and production shows over there. The Masons themselves don't drink over there. They wanted the alcohol license so they could do their shows. and serve alcohol for the Broadway shows that they were putting on over there. That's the reason they ended up with the CV all alcohol license, because one became available. That way they didn't have to keep coming up all the time to get the 1 days. Very similar to what happened with State Street Bank. State Street Bank has a CV all alcohol license. So that's how they ended up with this license, and where they're in the process of trying to move and find a new location, they are not going to be renewing their CV all alcohol license. So agenda item number 6 is all set. Agenda item number 7. Frank, come on up, buddy. Hearing regarding new officers, directors, and change of manager. And this was an application that was returned by the Alcoholic Beverage Control Commission for insufficient information. So,
5 times.
this has gone in 5 times, and 5
Yeah.
times it's been returned?
Yeah, I think what we need here.
And this is all, these clubs that we're talking about now, they're still waiting on this. So why don't you tell us what's going on, Frank? This is Frank Alibrandi, who is one of the managers down at the Knights of Columbus. We had a meeting going back on this. We started these meetings way back in October of 2015. And one of the issues that we had was that, especially with the Knights of Columbus, we still have, as the bar manager, we have Charlie McDermott, Pat McDermott's father, who's the bar manager. Charlie McDermott's been passed away for 4 years now, 5 years, more,
8 or 10.
8. When the Knights of Columbus came up to change the manager status, it was always being rejected by the ABCC because they did not have a certificate of good standing from the Department of Revenue. So if you don't have a certificate of good standing from the Department of Revenue, ABCC is not gonna look at anything for you. That's why we are here today. So,
We had back taxes due from 2010 to 2014, which took a while, but they're finally all paid. I finally got all the receipts, all my back. I sent it into the Department of Revenue. I got an acknowledgement that they got the payment and everything. I applied for the department, the certificate of good standing, and it's still in the process more. I even checked before I came here online. I still haven't got that certificate. It's still being processed. My application is still being processed. So hopefully, I hope it was there today before I got here, so I can bring that up. I do that all because the Secretary of State has okayed all of our offices.
As far as I can tell.
yeah.
All our offices have been
so-
okayed by Secretary of State because I've been paying that corporate taxes yearly with the updated information about offices and managers. I know this Department of Everything has been part of our responsibility because our taxes weren't being done. I've been in hand of our tax guy for about a year. I probably get that, which is part of my fault for not pushing them, but they finally updated, or at least we got our taxes paid.
So, and, the ABCC sent these applications back. All of these applications are incomplete for this year. The ABCC is basically giving you a grace period to get all of your ducks in order, because they could have sent it all back and said, application's incomplete, we're gonna close them down until it's completed and done right. If it's not completed right this year, when you mail these things in, the licenses are gonna be pulled. They're not gonna be pulled. They're just gonna be
Right.
they're not gonna be renewed.
Non-renewal,
And
right.
it's non-renewal, but not by any fault of this board.
Oh, no.
It's
all on our shoulders.
It's all on the shoulders
Yeah.
of the clubs.
We've had that
So-
paperwork for a while. The city's worked nicely with me last year.
Cities work tirelessly on this.
Oh, with us, you've been very patient. I'm
Yeah.
surprised.
So what do we have to do with these people now? Just,
That's up to them.
I hate to sit here and say, so I guess we'll just wait and see what happens come the end of December.
Oh, I hope, because they said the reply for the town register should have been done by now. They said within 24 to 48 hours after I supplied it, which was last week. It's still in
Okay.
process. I don't know if maybe I'll call them, I don't know if I can get a person if I call,
I'll just hope it shows up today, tomorrow on my email. I don't know what the,
It's December what? What's the,
The 6th.
wait a second, December 6th is the? So we meet on December 6th and December 20th. Those are the next two.
but I remember I get this certificate before, even before that, can I bring it up?
Absolutely.
This has to be signed.
And this has to be filled out too, the renewal application.
Renewal
This has to be done before the end of,
November.
before the end of
Oh, I'll
November.
get that.
So why don't we give this to you now?
What else?
That's it, and then just the rest of the application.
I'll send it in again.
Okay, so get that to us, send it again, we'll see what happens. So can I get a motion to place this on file till the end of the year?
Mr. Chairman, make a motion to place on file the status for new officers, directors, and change of manager returned by the Alcoholic Beverage Commission for insufficient information. KFC Club, Frank L. Roundy, representing.
Second, guys?
Second.
Yeah, motion made and seconded to place on file till the end of the year the status for, regarding the application for new officers, directors, and change of manager returned by the ABCC for the CC's Club, AKA the Knights of Columbus, represented by Frank Alabrandi, 5 Hollis Ave. Frank, good luck, I hope it works out, okay?
Thank you. Thank you for it. Because Happy New Year, no,
Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. I was gonna get there eventually.
Agenda item number 8, hearing regarding the status of the application for new officers, directors, and change of manager returned by the Alcoholic Beverage Commission for insufficient information. William Caddy Detachment, Mary Crowley. Come right up, Mary, how are you?
Well, thank you. How are you?
Well, I hate having you guys here. So, this is what comes back. Please submit the new officer, director application and vote of the corporate board for the change of manager and new director and officers. Please make sure to update the new officer directory with the Secretary of State and attach the amended articles of organization with this application. That's how it keeps coming back from the ABC with the caddy post.
I knew you did that.
We have put them in, my name's Tom Lynch, I'm the clerk of the House Committee, Board of Directors.
Okay.
And we have put all that paperwork in last year. The only thing they were waiting on was the Department of Revenue, good standing. And we have since got that, and we sent one to Cindy, I believe she got it. We also
Okay,
sent
so-
one to them.
What do we need still? Yeah, we still need the vote of the new officers and directors. You have all that?
I
You submitted
believe
all
that.
that?
Yeah, we had it last year, we put it in, and now we have it, we just elected our new officers in November 2nd, correct?
That changes. So that's a brand new application then. We can just, that's what this is here? Wants a complete app. So do you have a new complete app right now?
No, we don't have the app, we just have the new officers.
New officers and directors?
The vote.
They sent me a copy of their new officers and directors.
Yes, I
They
saw
won't-
that. Yeah.
They won't accept it unless it's out of a.
Yeah, you have to put that into the package. We can't just take a separate piece of paper and throw it. You have to, there's a spot in the application for that information.
What's it, just the one page, is it? I have the application.
It's a whole application.
There's also a change of manager involved in their form.
Yep. We have, it's this application here. It has to be in, there's a spot in this application.
So they want us to fill out a whole.
Oh, every year you have to fill out an application.
Like I said, I don't wanna, we'll do that, but of course, but, I mean, we already did this last year, we did the Corey and Mary.
Every year. ABCC wants it every year. It's not us, it's the ABCC.
So they're saying every year to file a new application.
Every year you have to file a new application.
Okay. This is new then, this was never done.
Well, because the clubs haven't been doing it, some of them back to 1960. And they've done it. The state
Oh.
caught up with everybody. This is
Oh,
going
okay.
statewide. It's not just you, it's
Yeah.
statewide. And they
Then
won't be
I-
doing it unless you get this in.
I think this is the,
15, 16
this is the
years,
fourth or
the
fifth
first
meeting
time
that we've
I've
had
Oh, I know.
with
Yeah.
different clubs coming up here. And I know we've had Caddy Post here 4 or 5 times now.
Oh, yeah.
When we first started meeting back in October last year.
Yeah.
I thought we did everything this year. I went to the quarry this year,
Yeah.
2016.
You went, yeah, the query was fine,
Right.
but the application wasn't complete. So the application goes into the ABCC, ABC kicks it back because it wasn't complete, even though the query was complete, but the whole application wasn't complete.
Now, are they looking at 2016 or 2017?
We're looking at 2016. You guys are operating right now under the grace of the ABCC because
Yes.
you've given them an application that they've rejected for insufficient information. And they're basically saying, you guys are a club, you don't have all the information here, get it to us, we'll let you stay open, and then we'll go from there. This year, if they still haven't gotten that information from you, they're gonna turn around and say, you had a whole year.
So this will be
Good
good
luck.
for 2017 when we get this in, or is this going to be grandfathered back into 2016, so we have to do this again?
You have to do that this year for next year. This has to be done before the end of November, right?
The renewal has to be done before November. Like-
Can they just do a renewal?
No.
They
Yeah,
have to do 16s before they do 17s?
Yeah.
They have to get this approved.
They have to get 16s approved, and then they can get 17s approved.
Oh, 17 has to be done by when?
In 17.
In 17.
Yeah, but this has to be done before the end of this year to
For
start.
16.
Yeah.
But we have till 17 to do for 17. That's all I'm at.
Well, if you
You're
come in
applying right now for next year. The application that we have is for this year.
Yeah,
And this year is not a full, the application this year isn't filled out properly. It's missing all kinds of information.
So do we have to get that information
Yes, you
for
have to do
16?
16s and 17s.
And 17.
You have
Okay,
to
that's
do
what I'm
both.
clear on that.
That's what's going on.
Yeah, this is due in November, the end of November, the renewal, and we'll make sure we give it to you. What else do we have to give you?
But they sent me the whole application back.
This is the one that they sent in, right?
Do we have that application? Do we see that to see what
Yeah,
we're
you see
missing?
this one here. I sent it for reconsideration, and then they sent me back
Yeah.
the whole thing. They said, they don't want it unless it's complete.
I remember you telling me it all has to be typed, no hand.
Yeah, it all has to be
Right.
typed.
It can't be stapled, there's a lot of no stuff.
No staples.
No staples, just typing. And he sent me back the whole app and said, have them fill it out right, and there's a copy of your check. It's not another check. He sent a copy of the check. Usually they keep them until you send the info. He didn't even want to look at this. He said, no, I want it all done. So,
Okay. So let me give you this for the,
If there's email address for them, we could send them a PDF of this, so they know what they need.
they have to go online and get it.
I know, just to, like, let them see what they're missing.
they have that, right?
Do you have what I sent?
Yeah, what?
Is that what you said?
Of the ABCC?
In September?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have that? So, they're looking for a vote of the corporate board that you have new officers and directors, and if the new officers and directors from 16 are no longer the new officers and directors of 17, just reflect it on the 16 that these were the 16 ones, and this is the vote for 17. Do they change every year?
Yeah, we just submitted the ones
Yeah.
for 17. We just had our elections in November.
Yeah, they're the same, they're the same. We dropped the time, we had 11, we dropped the time of 5, but there's 5 of the same ones that was from last year's. We have the new one, we have everything on the center.
Yeah, see, so this, the last time all that information went to the state was back in 1978. Leo Cavarelli,
No.
Desmond,
We do that every year.
Anthony,
No, on your license, not with the state.
Oh,
with
on
your
the license.
Yeah, don't get confused, there's two
I'm
different
taking the
steps.
corporation.
Yeah, there's two steps.
Secretary of State.
Yeah, that has, when they look at your license, they go to the Secretary of State.
Oh, okay.
And they say something's not right here, they tell them, they want to be notified.
This is all new.
It's new to me too, I know. So just a brand new application would be the best way to go.
yeah, you can go online and get a brand new application, and, I mean, I would just start from scratch. And,
You have to certificate, it's too old. Mine's July.
yeah,
It's got to be under 90 days old.
I'm still pen and pencil.
so on a, okay, is this open?
Yeah.
So, do you know where you stand and what you have to do now? So that we get this?
Pretty much, yeah. They want a new application,
Yeah.
but that doesn't mean they want designs of the building and
Oh, no.
notifying
No.
the neighbors.
And get that in by the end of the
Yeah.
month.
End of the month,
By the end of November, okay.
Yeah, so next Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday, just make sure you drop that off with Cindy, saying that we are gonna be renewing, and answer the questions that they have on that.
Okay.
And hopefully, we'll keep our fingers crossed. The last thing we wanna do is take any of these, we want you guys to have them. We don't want them. Okay? So can I get a motion to place this on file till the end of the year, and hopefully we'll
Mr. Chairman, make a
get it
motion to
done?
place on file the status of the application for new officers, directors, and change of manager returned by the Alcoholic Beverage Commission for insufficient information. William Caddy, Detachment, Mary Crowley, 111 Newbury Ave.
Second.
Motion made and seconded, place on file the status of the application for new officers and directors and change of manager returned by the Alcoholic Beverage Control Commission. The insufficient information, the William M. Caddy Detachment, Mary Crowley, the manager, 111 Newbury Ave. All in favor?
Aye.
You're all set, okay? Hopefully, we'll get this squared away before the end of the year.
I will get that into you.
It's like our annual family reunion.
I know. Happy Thanksgiving,
You
Merry
too, it's good
Christmas.
seeing you. Take care.
We're going number 9, hearing regarding the status of the following application for new officers and directors and change of manager returned by the Alcoholic Beverage Commission for insufficient information. The Morissette Post. George, come on up. George, how are you?
Almost terrific.
So here's that.
Cindy, just prescribed.
So do we?
I've been listening intently back there, yes. The new application for this year, get that online, Cindy?
Yep.
Take it off and type it again.
Yep.
Still don't have.
And right now,
With the
we're in the same
certificate of good
situation. We ended
standing.
up with not having the certificate of good standing. You said that was all new to us
Yeah.
last year. And at the time, a lot of guys have got the outfits have got theirs. I turned this over to our tax, Kevin Kearns, who does our taxes, to see if he can get it, because they ask questions I can't answer. So Kevin's working on that right now. And so obviously, even if we do the new application, if that certificate of good standing isn't on there, they're going to reject it.
They're going to reject you right away.
It's the same thing all over again. There's not much change on the office. It's just a slight. The other thing was Larry Norton was going to be here with me tonight to see what we could do about accomplishing the change in management.
You said that you have just 1 or 2 changes in the offices?
Yeah.
So brand new application then, because you got to change.
Well, you got to change.
Okay, right. Okay.
Yeah. Anytime there's a change, you know how the bureaucracy works. Or I do.
Well, they'll need this eventually, but not right now, it doesn't.
Right, it has to go in the web. Yeah.
So. Put it right in there. So you know what you have to do?
I know what I have to do. The other thing is, what about now, Larry has to come before a special meeting to be approved by you folks to take
The bar
over
manager?
as the bar manager?
Yes.
Yeah, in one of the next 2 meetings?
Yes.
Come up
You
as
can't send one.
we have to put it on the
Right.
agenda
You gotta-
ahead of
you
time?
gotta- Well, you got to.
Because I put the letter in.
Right, so you should schedule a bar manager either for December 6th
I
or
thought
the...
we already approved Larry.
I thought so too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but the state won't renew it. They won't.
Oh, he's on there as an approval, okay, then.
Right.
I never
Because
heard.
the offices weren't updated, they won't approve the manager. We did.
We approved it, but the ABCC hasn't approved it.
Yeah,
because you guys-
that's where I
Yeah.
left it. When we left it, Joe was getting frustrated because DOR had just started that new Tax
Yeah.
Connect program, and they were having trouble with it. And now if you go online, they're doing an update on it between November 29th and December 6th. So that, they're not gonna be available for us then, so it's looking like we'll be talking the 22nd before we have a chance. Because they're shutting down.
You don't have to do Larry.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, Larry's all set, because we've already approved him,
All right.
okay?
My job is to get the application done.
Get the application done with a good
and
DOR.
Get with Kevin, get the DOR saved.
Okay?
Now, I was told by Ralph Zagaroni from the ABC that, yeah, DOS got a quick turnover.
48 hours. I
Yeah,
think.
48-hour turnover. So I don't know why everybody's having such a hard time.
We don't know either. You can't get the same answer out of the same person twice. It's been one very frustrating experience. I've worked in a lot of bureaucracies over the years.
Oh, I know.
This one takes a cake.
Well, we're gonna place it on file,
It's gonna be part of your package every year.
and then
We're gonna make
From now
nice
on,
next
yeah.
one.
I'll teach my successor.
we'll continue this until the end of the year, and hopefully you'll have something,
And the renewal has to be.
and the renewal has to be in before the end of November. So
All
that,
right.
that should work. Do you
The
have a motion to
the
continue?
application is
I'd
going
like to make a motion to place on file the status of the application for new offices, directors, and change of manager, returned by the Alcoholic Beverage Commission for insufficient information, the Morissette Post, represented by George Nicholson, 81-83 Liberty Street.
So did you want me to hang on to that and submit it as a whole package? You want to take those items?
I'll hold on.
Motion made and seconded to grant the request to continue the hearing of the new officers, directors, and change of managers returned by the Alcoholic Beverage Control Commission for insufficient information, Morissette Post, George Nicholson, 8183 Liberty Street. All in favor? Aye.
Okay, thanks, guys.
Number 10, Joe,
Thanks,
come
Joe.
on up. Hearing regarding the status of the following application for new officers, directors, and change of manager returned by the Alcoholic Beverage Commission for insufficient information. South Quincy Social Club. Joe Moynihan, right?
Yes.
Not Jeff Manning.
No, unfortunately, Jeff had planned to be here. He's very serious, just about illness with a family. God bless his mom. Everything should be,
So this is what we got back from them, the ABCC. The petition for transfer of license is incomplete. I need the last approved officers and all the new officers on it. I need the petition to change the license. I need a corporate vote stating that the corporation voted to change the officers and directors and to change the manager. I need the proposed manager to fill out a manager application. I need personal information forms for all of the new officers.
everything should be here. Including the query, all the personal information forms, the vote, the updated, where the glitch was, Jack Carey from the ABCC, we had a conversation some time ago when he pointed out, even if the managers are, or the officers are the same, from one year to the next, you list them as old to new, so it's from and to. You list them in both sections. That wasn't clear in the first instance. The other thing that's very frustrating, I think, for a lot of clubs, there are no directions for these forms. They have the PDS fillable forms online, but anytime IRS, DOR, or anyone else, there's usually, right in the same PDF, there's a line-by-line instructions section that doesn't exist. It would be a great idea if the ABCC were to enclose some directions to clarify some of the questions they're asking. But other than that, everything should be complete here. They already cashed my check. I have a complete set.
Yeah, I do too. This is the last thing we got back.
So, William Schlager.
Schlager, yes.
Schlager. He's not listed in number 10 on the...
It is on, as I say, I have.
On the new one?
This is, yes, this
Okay.
is, yeah, and with,
Okay.
yes, I should say.
That's
With
good.
all the personal information forms attached, the vote is attached,
Signature,
all signed.
All, okay, yeah.
Has certificate of good standing from DOR, updated certificate of good standing from Secretary of State,
We're in good shape.
fresh this year.
Is
Just
the
last week.
petition, the transfer of ownership signed?
That's in this whole petition, the monetary transmittal form, yes.
Yeah, can I see that one page?
Absolutely, yes. This, where they were the same names, we didn't go from and to, so it had to be on both.
Okay, I don't have the signed one. I still don't see Schlager. Did you run out of room to put Schlager, is that
Yes,
it?
that's what it went on the back.
So you put it on the last page?
On the last
Okay.
page, yes.
Okay, so you ran out of room.
So we're good.
Hopefully, yeah.
Okay.
And the personal information forms.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I have copies of that, copy of the minutes from the meeting.
Yeah, it's gonna take that.
Take that. That has to be returned before the end of the end of
And
November.
this is the certificate of good standing, it's updated from DOR, and the certificate of good standing updated from the Secretary of State.
November, good.
Yeah, the articles of organization should be in there.
I think they're in there.
These are all personal information forms.
We need
We
one
have
of those.
that.
We
I
have
might
one.
as well take, okay. You want to take an extra copy there?
Well, I don't care,
No.
take it. I mean, I've got
You don't want it, then,
tons of them.
right? Okay,
Good, and
good.
this is the, and you have the vote, that might have been missing where they added the new officers.
Take this. What else? I think you might be all set.
That should be it.
We'll put it together tomorrow and give it a go.
It should be. I went through with Jack, we went through, and it seemed the biggest one was with that second page, the form and two.
Yeah.
But it wasn't, it doesn't, unless you're very familiar with the form, it wasn't unfortunately very clear.
Okay. We're just gonna get a motion to place this.
Just, Joe, my department has been through to make an inspection, and there's two things that, you know, minor stuff, exit signs and fire extinguishers that are out of date on that bridge. So, so we have to complete an inspection there as well. So if you just have them do that, you can give us a call.
I can give, which of the inspections office, or I'm happy to call them and schedule something when there's something that's a problem.
Yeah, just check to make sure they've updated all the extinguishers.
I'll mention that to Jeff probably tomorrow, unfortunately, this is the time.
Okay. Have any problem, call me. I'm out of the office tomorrow, but fire prevention will do the inspection. You just give them a call.
Very good. Thank you very much, Chief.
Yeah, you don't have to.
So Chair, what will be the motion? Now, are they all set, or are we still gonna put it on?
We just put it on for, you can just continue until the end of the year, and hopefully everything will go in, and then, you know, they don't even.
You may not hear till February on the state,
I know.
so busy.
Chair, I'd like to make a motion to place on file the status of the application for new officers, directors, and change of manager, returned by the Alcoholic Beverage Commission for insufficient information. South Quincy Social Club, Jeff Manning, contingent upon a successful fire department inspection at 252R Washington Street.
Second?
Motion made and seconded to continue the hearing regarding the application for new officers, directors, change of manager, returned by the ABCC for insufficient information, pending a final walkthrough of the fire department, and hopefully a successful application submitted to the ABCC where we'll be all set and Joe will be one, then we'll be down to 3. This will be very exciting, Joe. All in favor? Aye. Joe, we hope this works out for you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, and happy Thanksgiving.
I have a couple of other housekeeping items.
Thank you.
So, we have the Quincy Yacht Club is looking to do Pinot, and we have no objections to that, I'm assuming. And then, this has been mailed out last week to all of the license holders who hold all alcohol licenses, all restaurant and beer and wine CV retail store licenses. Please be advised that the following conditions approved by the City of Quincy Licensing Board on Tuesday, November 1st for the 2016 holiday season. Wednesday, November 23rd, 2016, package stores may remain open until 11:30 p.m. Thursday, Thanksgiving Day, November 24th, package stores may not sell or deliver alcoholic beverages at any time during the day. Saturday, Christmas Eve, December 24th, package stores may remain open until 11:30 p.m. Getting all this down? Sunday, Christmas Day, December 25th, 2016, package stores may not sell or deliver alcoholic beverages at any time during the day. Restaurants may not sell alcoholic beverages or wine and malt until 12 noon on Christmas Day. Saturday, New Year's Eve, December 31st, package stores may remain open until 11:30 p.m. Sunday, New Year's Day, January 1st, 2017, package stores may sell or deliver alcoholic beverages at any time during the day. That is that. That is everything else that we have. If I can get a motion to accept the minutes from the previous meeting and waive the reading.
Motion made. Second.
Motion made and seconded to waive the reading. All in favor? Aye. That concludes the licensing board for November 22nd. I'd just like to say on behalf of everybody at the licensing board and to all of our people listening out in John Rotofeld's world, have a happy Thanksgiving, and we'll see you in December.
How was that?